welcome back to Tom's Live. Today is Sunday special, a steak and ale pie. The ingredients you need are diced beef, plain flour, butter, brown ale, Worcestershire sauce, ground black pepper, salt, plain flour, butter, 1 onion, 6 mushrooms and thyme and 1 beef stock cube. First step to do is to prep all your ingredients. I'm going to start off with making a short crust pastry. So we're going to weigh out the plain flour. First step, we're going to weigh out 300 grams of plain flour. I'm going to use my talking scales. So you just keep weighing till it gets to 300 grams.
It is 80. It is 191 grams.
This might look like a lot of flour.
It is 218 grams.
You're going to make a top and a bottom. So you need 300 grams. And then half of butter.
It is 278 grams. It is 278 grams. It is 300 grams.
Spot on. Once you have weighed out 300
grams.
Once you have weighed out 300 grams, you're going to add it into your mixing bowl. You want to give it a good tap so it all comes out. Next step, you're going to weigh out your butter. You will need 150 grams. I'm using my talking scales. You open your butter and you just put it in.
It is 22 grams. It is 69 grams.
Get some more butter if you need it.
75 grams. It is 150 grams.
Spot on. Once you have weighed out
150 grams.
Once you have weighed out 150 grams of butter, you're going to add it to your plain flour. Next step, you're going to prep your mushrooms. You first want to chop them in half and then just slice them into 4 little pieces. Like that. I'll show you again how I did that. So you chop it in half, you flatten it, and always be careful with your fingers, you don't cut yourself. So after nice slices like that, I'll show you one more time how I did that. So in half, and then you just want to slice it. If you've got good knife skills, you can chop it a bit faster like I'm doing here. And once you've got nice slices like that, you're going to place it in a mixing bowl and you're going to finish off doing the rest of your mushrooms. Next step, we're going to prep the onion. You're first going to chop your ends off. I like to flatten it so it's more easy to chop. Then you're going to chop the other ends off. And you want to peel 2 layers of the skin. Once you have finally peeled your onion and chopped your end off, you just want to slice it. Then turn it around and then just finally dice it. Always be careful with your fingers. Once you've got nice diced onions like that, you're going to place it in your bowl with your mushrooms. This will be your base for your pie. Next step, we're going to prep the thyme. So you want to take some out of your bag and you just want to finely slice it. And then you want to bring it together and then you just want to finely dice it. You don't want too much, but you just want a good handful like I have got here. This will give flavour to the meat. So you just give it one more chop so it's nice and fine. But always be careful with your sharp knife. Next step, you're going to weigh out 400 grams of diced beef. I'm using my talking scales.
It is 149 grams. It is 293 grams. It is 393 grams. It is 400 grams.
Spot on. So once you have weighed out 400 grams of diced beef, you're going to place it in a mixing bowl. You want a good quantity of meat for your pie, so you're looking about 400 grams. Next step, you're going to open your brown ale. So you're going to get a bottle opener. And then you're going to weigh 300 mils or grams.
It is 134 grams. It is 169 grams. It is 300 grams.
Spot on. And once you have weighed 300 grams or 3 milliliters, you're going to pour your brown ale in the mixing bowl. So once you have weighed out everything and prepped everything, you're going to start off making your short crust pastry. So you've got some butter in with the flour, and you just want to just break it apart. Into bits. And then you're going to rub it together using your fingertips to make breadcrumbs. You can either do a hand, or you can put it in a food blitzer, and it will take about 20 seconds. So you start getting your fingers in there, your fingertips, and you just want to start rubbing the butter in with the flour and bring it from a height so it looks like all the butter has melted. But once again, what I say is, please do not do this when you've got really hot hands, because the butter will melt. So you just break it all apart. So it's easy to work with. Once you've done that, now you just bring it from a height, and you just want it to make it into breadcrumbs. And always give it a shake after a few goes, so you bring all the big lumps to the top. This will take about 5 to 8 minutes to do this way. Next step, you want to add a tiny pinch of salt. And with a knife, you want to bind it all together so the salt has mixed in. Do like a chop action. Don't overwork it but just give it a good toss. I'll start adding some water in. Pour a little bit in to start off with. Then you want to properly bind it together. If you need any more water, just put another drop in. Gonna add a little bit more water. You need to put cold water in. And then you want to properly bind it together with a knife. Now I'm going to get my hands in to bind it all in. Scrape everything off your fingers and then get it all round the bowl. Next step, you're going to place some hot water in a measuring jug and you're going to add your beef stock cube. You want to give this a stir for a minute or two so it all evaporates. Next step, you're going to switch on your hob and oven. And you want to set your hob ring to high. Let that just heat up for a minute or two. You place the pan on top of your ring. While you're doing that, you're going to preheat the oven. I'm using my bump to tell me which one is the oven. And you want to set this to 180 degrees. That is set to 180 degrees. The reason why we set the oven before putting it in, one, so it preheats, and the second, it takes up a little bit of the cooking time. So we do that. And you're just going to wait for your pan to heat up before you start frying your beef. So your first step, you add in your beef. And you want to break it apart. So browns. So you're just breaking it apart using your wooden spoon. This will take a few minutes to do. So you're just browning the meat. Next step, you want to add in your thyme. And then you want to coat that into the meat. Give it a little toss so it gives flavour to the meat. So you just want to keep stirring it all in so your thyme marinades into your diced beef. And you'll be starting to smell the flavours of the thyme. You want to add in 2 tablespoons of plain flour. This will thicken up the sauce. You add in the brown ale and the also beef stock cube. So you just give it a little stir. So everything coats together. Don't worry if it goes thick and any bits stuck on the bottom of your pan. Because you will add in your brown ale in a minute. We're going to cook what you want to do when you add in the brown ale. You must cook it all the way through, because it's not good to eat your food with the ale in, with the acid, so you're just burning it out. So we're going to put that in next. So you now pour in your brown ale, and you just want to give it a stir. So you're stirring it in so the flour and then your thyme have stuck to the bottom. Give a little tap on the side of your pan. Get all the way round. Just leave that for a minute. As it's starting to bubble, you add in some Worcestershire. About 3 splashes. And you want to give that a stir. Keep stirring all the way round. So you might have anything stuck on the bottom of the pan. You'll be able to smell the Worcestershire and the brown ale. But we're going to add the beef stock and black pepper in a minute. And then you will also add in your onions and mushrooms. The reason why we're adding the onions and mushrooms last, because when we seal it in the oven with the pastry, they will cook and go nice and soft. So you don't have to worry about adding them in at the beginning. You place them at the end, so they will cook. And you just keep stirring at the bottom, so you get everything off the pan. Now we will add in the beef stock. And you want to give that a bit of a stir. Get all the way round. Just give a little tap. Get any little bits that are stuck on the bottom still. Everything should be off the bottom of the pan now. Now you add in some ground black pepper. And you want to give this a bit of a stir. You also add in your onions and mushrooms. And then we're going to give this a good toss. A little stir. And then what we're going to do is in a minute we're going to put the lid on so it can boil. While it's bubbling and boiling on high, you're going to roll out your pastry. So once you've done, after when you have done your mixture, your pie filling, you want it to cool down for a minute or two. So you roll out so you break your dough into 2 parts, and you want to roll it out really thin. This is your base inside. Then you will put your filling in. And then with the other half of dough you've got here, you want to lay with some plain flour. Get a rolling pin and roll it out, not too thin but not too thick. The same size you've done in the tray. So you roll it one way, you turn it, just have a check with your other one, see does it fit. You just place it like that and you've got the perfect size. Once it has cooled down your mixture, you want to pour it into your pie paste. Pour it out all nice and evenly. With your other pastry, for the top what you've rolled out, you want to place it on top. So you're just going to press it all out evenly. Don't worry if it's split a little bit. You just tuck it in. Get all them little gaps. You trim it off at the top. And any gaps you got down the sides with your dough mixture, you just push it in, not too hard because you don't want to break it now. And finally, you want to place it in the oven so you cook all your pastry and your filling. It will take about 25 minutes to 30. So what you're going to do is you're going to place it on the top of your pan, on top of your oven. You want to push it further in and you want to close the door and keep an eye on it. And hope you like this recipe. Don't forget to press the like button, share and subscribe, and thank you. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, more videos coming soon.